horror. The horror.
Okay. Well,
We're rolling.
we're back.
Did you miss us, everyone? Were you worried?
I was.
I was worried.
I didn't think I was going to make it.
I was worried on our audience's behalf. But
It's been quite a long hiatus.
hernia. We're at that age now we start getting hiatus hernias. Listening public. We're alive.
You're 50 now.
That's how long ago it was. I was only 25 the last time we did one, and now I'm 50. That's how much time has elapsed.
And I'm on the precipice.
You are. You're staring into the abyss.
Yeah, I am.
To be fair, we were both doing that before we were 50.
Yeah, long before. Probably before we were 25.
But anyway, yes, we hope you missed us.
Yeah.
But if you didn't, tough shit, and I'm really sorry, but we're back.
There's been no messages of
support.
Where are they? You know, when's the next one?
No candlelit vigils.
No.
No placards.
No.
So
that was a little bit disappointing.
Very disappointing.
Yeah, but
not a dicky bird. Nothing.
No.
Not even from you. And we're, But yes, we've survived the pandemic.
Yeah.
We've had both our shots.
Yeah, I had mine last one yesterday.
That's it.
And how was because you had the AstraZeneca.
Well, we were going to do a little comparison, weren't we? Like I had the AstraZeneca,
the blood clot
also known as the Oxford. I had the blood clotting one. Yeah. To be fair, yes, I have only got one leg now, so there was that side effect.
COVID.
But I haven't got COVID, so yeah, I'm a glass half full kind of guy. No, I've still got both my legs. Not all my brain cells, unfortunately. But that's a separate matter.
You were saying about that as well. Do you think that has got worse since you've turned 50?
Well, marginally.
Can't you remember?
I can't. Yeah. Who are you again? Who am I? Yeah, I can't remember. Well, there was. This isn't a scientific thing or a scientific poll. I've got no empirical evidence of this.
You're not a doctor.
Well, believe it or not, I'm not. I've got letters after my name.
You're a BA.
I'm a BA Hons, but I'm not a PhD.
No.
I heard a sort of anecdotal school of thought that said that if you get sick on the first, if you feel a bit groggy and ill on the first injection, the second one you'll feel okay, and if you feel okay on the first injection, you'll feel groggy on the second injection.
That's what happened to me.
Because that's what happened to you, and
you were the other way.
No, I was a little bit. I had sort of side effects on the first one. The Oxford one, or the AstraZeneca one, whatever you want to call it. We'll call it AstraZeneca. And the second jab, I felt just a little bit more tired than normal, but I always feel knackered anyway, so. But, and you...
Didn't feel...
Either of them, was it?
Well, no, on the first one, I had
groggy?
no side effects at all. And then...
But even the second one, though, yours were quite mild, weren't they?
Well, it knocked me out.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Did you have, okay.
Last night, I was...
Oh, okay.
I just slept.
That's like, well, yes, that's probably, yeah. I mean, yeah,
first really deep sleep. I'm normally
Well, you said you had some rather bizarre dreams.
Yeah.
So it kind of affected you in that way.
Yeah.
I just had a really bad headache with the first one. Like a sort of migraine and the shivers. And did you have the shivers?
A little bit this morning.
A bit fluey.
Yeah, I'm still a bit achy. Muscles.
Yeah, muscles. But I mean, we're not trying to put you off because it is. You should do it.
Yeah.
Get it done if you haven't already.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're our age, you probably already have, because we're now in that age bracket, aren't we?
Yeah.
Next to the elderly.
That's right.
And infirm. But if you're under 50, or even if there's any millennials listening to this,
I think today they've passed it for 12 to 15
have they
as well.
Cool. So, and yours was the Pfizer, wasn't it?
Yes.
So you had the Pfizer.
I had the posh one.
Yeah, the really expensive one. I had the third world country one. That's probably why I felt worse. Yeah.
Yeah, there's loads floating about now, isn't there?
Loads of variants.
And
do you mean? Oh, loads of different vaccines. Yeah, there's loads now.
Yeah.
Who else has got one?
Johnson & Johnson.
Oh, Johnson & Johnson. Bill Gates has probably got one, hasn't he?
They did baby lotion.
Yeah, that's
Baby oil.
and cotton wool buds and stuff that stick up your nose. Well, that's probably part of it. Isn't
Oh
it?
yeah, God, it's all.
It's like
It
a
all
business.
makes sense now.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like give away cotton wool buds to stick up your hooter to test you for COVID.
Yeah.
It comes as a package, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Someone's making a lot of money.
Someone is, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But so we did survive. We are currently we're in a new studio. This is your new abode.
It's
That's how much has happened in the last.
That's
when did we
right,
say
yeah.
October?
Yeah, because last one we were in my.
That's like nearly 8 months ago. Shit.
That's a lifetime ago. Almost.
That's longer than most of my relationships. It's amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, I've got my own flat now.
You got your own flat.
Yeah.
And you know it is now the studio. We are now there.
Yeah.
If you hear the expanse of it, it's a very professional setup. You've got is that an arc light? They call those
An O-ring.
an O-ring.
Yeah.
He's got an O-ring,
Yeah.
which is not a gynecological
It's
complaint.
not for taking selfies of myself, which.
Because you're an influencer now as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're trying to break into the influencer sort of business. How would you like to influence people? Obviously, apart from making them watch this, watch it.
Well,
I wish they could
maybe
watch
one
it.
day.
Maybe one day. We haven't quite got there yet technologically.
No,
We're still a bit old school, aren't we?
we are. Yeah, this is lo-fi.
It is low rent,
Yeah.
low quality, all round basically. But that's what you're after, isn't
That's
it?
the niche we're going for.
It is.
I don't think there's enough.
Well, I
There's
think
too many people going for the high
high-end,
production.
too polished.
Yeah.
You know, who wants to listen to and watch like a very polished, well-edited, smooth, planned, rehearsed
Yeah.
anything?
No.
Well, probably
Most
a lot
people,
do,
yeah.
but
There must
fashion comes around, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So cyclically, we'll probably be fashionable in about another 20 years' time,
be
probably,
right. So we'll be 70.
when we're dead and gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
So
of a
we'll
sudden.
be like Van Gogh. He never
Exactly.
started painting.
That's
when
what
he
I'm
was
hoping
alive, did
for. No, exactly. We'll be like totally anonymous in our when we're alive.
Yeah.
But this will be like a document that will be unearthed,
he? Yeah.
like an
It might
historical
be like
time capsule.
like the Ten Commandments. You know.
Exactly, the lost Beatles recordings. It'll be
We
up
might
there with
become
that.
like
The Magna Carta.
godlike.
What was the Turin Shroud?
We will have a cult then.
Yes.
We are total cults.
Yeah, it'll probably be like that, like Planet of the Apes, but beneath the Planet of the Apes, where there will be some like death cult that will find these tablets, these tapes of us, and it may cause a nuclear war eventually.
Or it might be like that. What's that island where they worship Prince Philip, didn't they? He's like their god.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I do vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
Wasn't it in Haiti or something? Was it?
Yeah. Some
Haitian.
Yeah.
We're probably really big in Haiti actually.
Yeah. You reckon?
If we look at our demographics,
Okay.
probably those 4 people who listen to us all come from Haiti.
Right.
Yeah.
Might have to look into that.
That's it. I don't know. It's just a theory. Again, no empirical evidence on that.
No.
But
No. Like a bit.
what do they call that? Not your algorithms, is it? What do you have to look at? What are all those graphs and things that podcasts do and Google do? They show where people.
Got a name.
It's a thing, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
like that.
I know.
Checking not your credentials.
Yeah.
That's what the doctor does when he asks you to cough, isn't it? He checks your credentials.
For lumps.
But that's another thing about getting old. You have to check yourself as well, lads and lasses. But yeah, just I don't know. I've never looked at those things, whatever you call them.
I know. We did reach 1,000 listen.
Did we? 1,000 listens.
That would be 8 months.
Are you sitting on a huge pile of cash that you've made from these cult casts? So anyway, we still are total cults. So don't be disappointed. We haven't changed in those 8 months since we've been away. In fact, if anything, we're probably more cultish.
Yeah, we are.
Than we were back then.
Yeah,
definitely.
People keep saying that to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're saying that to you. I think you're mishearing them. But is it when a car drives by and you hear them shout out the window? I get the same thing.
Oh, okay.
So what have we been up to? Well, obviously not a lot. The lockdown here has relaxed slightly
eased, isn't it?
in the good old UK.
Yeah.
So now we can we can do this in the same room together. We can do a
We
podcast.
can go to the pub. We
Go to the
can
pub
inside
now. Yeah. Mask. Weirdly, you wear a mask going in, and then I'm not saying it's weird, but then once you've sat down, you can take it off.
Yeah, but if you get up again,
I guess it's the moving about, isn't it? You're wafting your disease everywhere.
They call
your
it
virus.
the aerosols.
What you call me? Oh, sorry, aerosols. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, projecting your aerosols everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, as long as you're just sat there, not talking, drinking, getting totally shit faced, you're all right.
Yeah.
And we can hug now.
Yeah.
Not that we do that because we're British, so that's
Yeah.
men don't hug, do they?
No.
It's just wrong. So yeah, we don't do any of that.
But you can hug
Hug a hoodie,
well,
hug a tree, a sapling.
anyone you want to hug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until they spray mace in your face. So and also another thing, cult related. The cinemas have recently reopened. You've been back to the cinema, haven't you, with your kids?
Yeah.
I've been back on my own, on my Jack Jones.
What did you see?
I saw a film called For Those Who Want Me Dead.
Oh,
It was
sounds
a nice cheerful film to kickstart the cinema going experience again with, which had Angelina Jolie in it.
Oh yes, you were telling me about. She's a
She's a fire breather, a firefighter.
firefighter.
Probably a fire breather as well.
Yeah.
But lots of things that she can do.
Brad Pitt probably.
Well, you talking about swallowing things? I don't know.
I didn't.
Sword swallower.
I wasn't going that way.
Oh, sorry, that's just my sick mind. Sorry. It's been 8 months. We've been starved of human interaction.
Angelina, I've never. Well,
Have you not rated her
as an actress and as a female?
as a humanitarian?
Well, I think she's
She's all right.
I think she cares about things.
The environment,
Yeah.
issues.
Children. She's got
Children.
lots of them.
Yeah, she's got lots of them. She's adopted.
some. Yeah.
Is she an animal rights activist?
Probably.
Probably. They all are, aren't they? Not there's anything wrong with that either. But
She's married to. Well, she's been married several times. Billy Bob.
Billy Bob.
They had a bit of a.
Tempestuous, wasn't it? Then again, it's quite tempestuous towards the end, wasn't it, with Brad? Because he's just got joint custody now, hasn't he? That she's not happy about, apparently.
No.
If you read the tittle tattle in the
He's supposed
tabloids.
to
A dope smoking fiend, isn't he? Allegedly, obviously.
be violent, and I can't.
You can't talk.
I can't see Brad.
I can't see. He seems pretty mellow to me.
Yeah.
Unless it's passive aggressive, like, I don't know. But he seems quite chilled out, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Just smoking a doobie. Whatever. Let it
That
go,
was in True
Angelina.
Romance.
Let it go.
In True
Oh, with his bong, yeah.
Don't condescend me. Sitting there. I remember that.
I think most of his lines in that are like he's off his tits, isn't he?
Yeah,
He probably was for real. Method in it. You got to smoke a bong. But I've seen her. I'm quite. I don't dislike her. I liked. There's a really good film that she was in, a Clint Eastwood film called Changeling, not to be confused with The Changeling, which was a George C. Scott creepy haunted house sort of horror film, which I watched again recently actually, and is very creepy
Hasn't there
and
been
good.
a remake?
Another pointless bloody remake. What talking of remakes? Highlander.
Oh yes, I saw that.
Was it Chris Hemsworth or something? Is it Hemsworth?
No, is it that?
Who is it?
Henry Cavill.
Oh, fucking Henry Cavill, yes, yeah. Oh, why remake stuff?
Yeah.
It's so
Where is
lazy, isn't it?
the imagination?
But I agree. What I've heard, comments before. If you're going to remake something, remake a bad film that would benefit from being remade. Not a film that's Highlander is not high art, but it's kind of it has its fans. But it's a perfectly respectable movie. Why remake it? It doesn't need remaking. I would say remake a film that maybe has an interesting concept, but was badly executed. Something like The Black Hole, Disney film, which from my youth.
Yeah.
Well, from when I was not a toddler. What was I? I was just a boy when that came
I
out.
remember.
And that, I think that had a really good concept, but it was just badly executed. But they could do a good and Logan's Run. I put that in the same bracket. I think we've had this discussion before, but anyway. So yeah, remake bad films, not good films, or slightly above average films. Just let them be. Like they were talking about remaking Escape from New York. You don't need to remake Escape from New York. It's perfectly fine as it is. It still holds up pretty well. Just watch that one.
But they want to reinvent all these things for the
modern
millennial
audience, the millennials
who don't go
to the cinema so much.
And they wouldn't watch
an old crusty film like that old.
Yeah. Oh, look how rubbish it looks.
Oh yeah, look at their sideburns.
Yeah.
True. But anyway, yes, the Changeling, not The Changeling. Very good performance from Jolie. It's about her son. I think it is based on a true story. I'm pretty sure her son gets abducted, and it's about her quest for justice. Isn't it always? It's always about a quest for justice. But she's really good in it. It's a good film. A bit of a tearjerker, a bit of a gut wrencher. But I would recommend that. And I think with the right material, she can be okay. She can be good. In this, she does a lot of staring into the distance because she's a firefighter. So that's what do they call it?
1,000 yards.
1,000 yard stare. Yeah, she's always searching out for fires.
Does she do any fireman's lifts?
No. She's got a bit of axe. She does a bit of axe chopping action. A bit of rope swinging.
What do is there any sexism, like the male?
They're all quite macho, all her work colleagues. Yeah, they beer guzzling, but they accept her. She's one of the guys, basically, you know. Okay. Yeah, she's one of the guys. It slightly annoyed me in the regards that it has one of those annoying features of quite a few films where it's basically, I won't bore you with all the plot, but that she sort of Witness style. Witness as in Harrison Ford's Witness. She comes across a child who's been witness to a murder, and he survives, and then basically he escapes the hitmen, and they're trying to hunt him down to stop him blabbing, and then he comes across Jolie in the woods. Lovely, some lovely scenery in it, but and it's by the guy who did some films that I quite like. Hell and High Water was a film. I don't know if you've seen that.
I don't think I have.
He wrote that, didn't direct it, and what was that film about? The murder on a Native American reserve. Was it called White? Oh, I can't remember what it's called now. So that's it. We don't do our research, you see, and we're getting old now, and my brain's going. But
I'm sure someone out there's
seen it. It's got the guy who was in the Marvel film who played Hawkeye.
Oh, okay.
And it's got one of the Olsen twins in it. White River.
All right.
I think that's what it's called. Or Wind River. It's got river in the title. But that's fairly good as well. He's quite a muscular thriller writer, and they're quite sort of they're more kind of like the sort of thrillers you would have got probably in the 70s, and probably would have starred like Steve McQueen back in those days as a sort of grizzled, action hero type thing. But yeah, it's and in this they've obviously got Jolie being a masculine, not muscular, but she's replaced.
She's quite willowy, isn't she?
She's a little, to be fair, that is, I suppose you could argue that she looks a little bit too waif-like to be a firefighter. There's not much meat on her.
No.
So you could. That's one criticism, I suppose. But the other criticism is that the hitmen are they're very skilled and highly trained. But then when the plot requires them to be a bit incompetent, then they're incompetent.
Right.
So it kind of, it's a little bit, you have to suspend quite a lot of disbelief in it, because at one moment they're sharpshooting like ex-Marines, I suppose they're supposed to be, and then they seem to miss Angelina Jolie quite a lot when they're trying to shoot her. But, so it's a little bit improbable in that description, in that regards. But watchable as a first film, to see at the cinema after it being closed for, I worked it out because I look back on because I save the QR codes, I save them because I often, rather than go through the email when I go to the cinema for them to scan it, I always save my QR codes in my phone, so I can just pull it up and they can zap that. And I think the last film I went to see was back last April, I think. So literally, it's been over a year since I've been to the cinema. Yeah.
I didn't. We
sure it
saw
is.
Bill and Ted's, and
Yeah, but I think that was early March.
was it?
It might even been
I think that
February.
was when they opened up during the summer.
Oh, maybe I'm lying then. Maybe I've lost
They
that.
closed, didn't they? And then they opened up.
Was that the last
for a
film we
little
saw? I know we saw that. We did a discussion about it, didn't
Yeah. I thought that was like May or June, maybe.
we? Do you think that was last May?
Yeah,
You carry on talking. I'm gonna
yeah, I'm
see if I
sure.
can find it.
I think we saw Tenet
We definitely saw Tenet. Yeah,
as well.
not Tenants.
Yeah,
That was
super.
Tenet Super. That was very disappointing, wasn't it? We've talked about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So anyway, that's what I saw. What did you see at the cinema?
I saw a film called I didn't know it. My 7-year-old daughter was talking about it, so I saw that it was on. It's a film called Raya, and the Last Dragon.
Is it a Disney?
Yes.
It's a Disney.
Yeah.
I think it's also on Disney Plus now, isn't it?
Probably.
They do that
yeah.
sort of. There's like a.
Because I see Cruella's on that.
That's on Disney. Yeah, but that's like the premium. You have to pay
Oh, you
to
have
watch.
to pay
It's like
for that.
20 quid or something, isn't
Oh,
it,
is
to
it?
watch that?
Oh,
Even
is
if
it?
you have got Disney Plus,
okay.
you have to pay a premium to watch
right.
it.
Oh well. No.
It doesn't come with the package sort of thing.
I got a little story about Cruella as well in a minute.
Is that what we were talking about before the extra stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, we were going to talk about that, weren't we?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was.
Keep
it
your
was,
ears peeled for that one.
It was okay.
It's coming soon.
It was all right. Standard sort of Disney animation film. Nothing really to write home about. I mean, my daughter loved it.
That's the main thing, isn't it? But it's something you could do as a family, isn't
Yeah.
it? You could have a family visit to the
Yeah,
cinema.
it's the first time I've been with them since.
Was it busy?
No.
It wasn't.
No.
I was quite surprised how many. I mean, for people who don't know the situation over here, when you go to the cinema at the moment, currently you have to wear a mask unless you're eating or drinking, and then you can be demasked. So that is a bit irritating for people like me who have to wear glasses at the cinema because they always get steamed up. But I did get a position just right where I could breathe
Yeah.
and not get steamed up. But it's hit and miss really. Sometimes I just have to have the mask resting on the tip of my nose, so the breath doesn't sort of go
There is
up
a way
into my
to do it,
glasses.
isn't
There is a way. There is a
I
way.
don't know.
But
what it is.
so by chance I have done it before.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, there are slight restrictions and
Yeah, but it was good to get
drawbacks.
back into the cinema going.
I think people are just happy to be doing sort of slightly normal stuff again, aren't they? And obviously cinema. And I must admit, I was surprised how much I'd missed it because, like you probably, Kelvin, I've been concentrating on a lot of streaming stuff to get my film fix, and actually seeing something on a big screen again. And no matter how big your TV is, I mean, I haven't got a massive TV; it's only like 42-inch or whatever. But and I know some people have, they probably go up to like, I don't know, 80 inches or whatever now. Or you can have a plasma screen or whatever. But nothing does quite replace the feeling of seeing a film in a cinema, in an auditorium. It is something I think I'd kind of forgotten how much I missed. And a lot of people, commentary, you hear people saying like, oh, well, I'm not sure I'm going to go back to the cinema now because I can watch stuff quite easily on TV. But, for me, there isn't any substitute
I
really.
think people probably will slowly sort of go back.
I think they will. When there's a big major film that draws people
I
in.
wonder if it'll have any influence on the Netflix and the streaming things subscriptions. I wonder whether their subscriptions will all of a sudden go down now that cinemas are open. What do you think?
I think there wasn't there? I mean, I don't know about now.
Captured these people.
That there was
They'll keep them.
reports that kind of subscriptions to these services have leveled out a bit, so they're,
right.
they're not really gaining new. I don't know if that's changed over the pandemics or whatever, but they kind of just leveled out.
But there seems to be more streaming services now than there was last year.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I mean, I've noticed that Apple TV
Yeah,
is now...
they're pushing that quite a bit, aren't
They
they?
are spending a hell of a lot of money on series now.
Have you watched anything good on streaming? So that's our cinema experience. I mean, I'm still waiting to see, forthcoming releases. Cruella, which you were going to talk about, we'll talk about in a minute. I'm quite intrigued to see that. Mainly because of see if I can spot you in it.
Yeah.
But
Apparently you can.
Who said?
Kerry.
Really?
Yeah.
On the trailer? Oh, she's seen
In the
it.
film, yeah.
She's seen the film.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Twice, apparently. And
Up close and personal.
yeah. Yeah, she said it
Well,
was
we've got to see it
very
now,
funny.
haven't we? Is it?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
I was just like looking shocked, I think. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what we have been doing a little bit of, haven't we? Like while the, I don't know. We have mentioned this in a previous spot, haven't we? I call it spot now. It's not, is it? Well, podcast. Yeah, we've dabbled in the supporting artist
Yeah. Or the extra.
avenue, extras for the old for the old school. But
Yeah, we've done quite a bit in the last...
you've done quite a bit of it. Yeah, you've done quite a bit more than me,
Well,
haven't
so have
you?
you...
Oh yeah,
We did a bit in October, which
we
is
did, didn't we?
probably
Yes, that's
after...
true. Is that what we both were on?
Yeah.
Was that October? Was that last October?
Yeah.
That film that hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
Okay. The what was it? The Flintcrofts.
yeah.
Flitcrofts.
Fantastic Flitcrofts.
Flitcrofts. I could never say it.
Yeah.
We're going to say Flintcrofts or the amazing Flitcrofts. Yeah, that
Yeah,
looked.
did we do...
we do 2 days on that?
2 days, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was quite good, wasn't it?
And I got my dream come true to do a day on Alan Partridge, but I don't know if that's. I won't go into why it might be cut, but it might be cut soon. Well, nothing to do with me. I didn't soil myself or anything, or have a fanboy moment and attack Steve Coogan or anything. But probably some stuff we can't talk about.
No,
Probably signed stuff, didn't we? That we're not allowed to talk about
that's
it until
true.
it's out. You're not allowed to talk about it until it
Yeah,
comes
we're
out.
under
yeah.
contract. So,
Yes, obviously. Yeah. Well, our lawyers will shut us.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be shut down, won't
Yeah,
we?
we
We'll
will.
be banned
Yeah.
for life.
So,
we say no more.
We'll
But
have
we have
to
been doing a bit of that. We'll talk about it when it's out, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, Corella's out now, so
Yeah,
you
I
can talk about it.
that. Yeah. Yeah, so I did that.
How many days did you do on that?
Just the one.
Was it the one day?
Yeah.
It was a long day, though, wasn't it? Long shoot, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a night, a night shoot. Well, I say it was a night shoot. I started at 11 in the morning and didn't finish till 1:30 at night. So, yeah, long day.
It's a long day, isn't it?
Yeah. That was I think that was my first. That was my first extra job.
Was that the first? Was it?
Yeah, yeah. And that was.
Well, that was before Flitcrofts.
Yeah,
Was it?
yeah,
Fucking hell, that long ago.
Yeah.
Shit, time is just like
yeah.
being
That
in a
was
vacuum.
well
isn't
over
it?
Well, it must be 18 months ago.
Time just seems really compressed. Like it, even like you saying when we went to see Bill and Ted's, that doesn't. It kind of simultaneously feels like a long time ago, but also feels not that long ago.
No,
It's just
the
weird.
time in this last year has been. It's like a time warp, isn't it? It's like at some points it feels like it's sped up. Other points, it's really slowed down.
Yeah, there's a real strange sort of ebb and flow
Yeah.
about it all, isn't there? Like
Yeah.
when there's like a madness when everything sort of relaxes.
Yeah,
Then everyone sort of goes a little bit crazy, and it's kind of a
yeah.
strange
I think we're in a bit of a
environment.
weird moment at the moment where everything appears that it's sort of almost gone back to normal now, and people are sort of forgetting
That there's this virus
that
that's out there.
it's still out there, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And it's not going to go away.
It's probably going to be with us forever, isn't
Yeah,
it? In
like-
some form or
like
another.
the flu or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's going to keep changing, isn't it?
yeah.
So, not wanting to be a doomsayer,
No.
but
But we're all going to die. So, back to the extra stuff. For people out there, sell it to right. I'm Joe Bloggs. I'm listening to if I've got any sense, I'm listening to We Are Total Cults.
Yeah.
If I've got half a brain, I'd be listening to this, wouldn't I? they're thinking, oh, I might want to be a supporting artist, stroke extra. Is it something you'd recommend?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. It's if you've got an interest in film or television, it's a good way to sort of see how these things are made.
It is fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think when I started, Jen, I don't know if you felt this, not that I've done an awful lot, but I thought maybe, I mean, obviously, it's such a minor thing being like a background artist. You're not you're not in the thick of it. But I thought maybe the demystification of being on a set might ruin my appreciation and love of
the
cinema.
magic of it.
Yeah, the magic, exactly. And I'm kind of glad to say it hasn't really.
No.
I might even have more of an appreciation because you just think it makes you think, how the hell do these things get? How do they even get finished?
Well, like we've both worked on things where we've been doing one scene the whole day, or whatever, 12 hours or whatever, and then you watch the actual film, and then it's like you've talked about.
Or it's not even in it.
They've cut it.
Yeah,
the whole thing.
Or it was, and it would have been probably like, even if it wasn't it, like a few seconds of running time, and that's taken you a whole day to
that
shoot
had
it.
like a massive crew, and like loads, like maybe 100 extras, all being paid.
That's it.
And then they don't use it.
It's miraculous, isn't it? It is almost like. It is like the Dream Factory. It's it's almost alchemy that these things actually get finished, because you almost think the odds are so stacked against these things being finished at all, and then when they are finished, actually being any good.
Yeah,
it's quite amazing, isn't it?
When you're there and you see them filming, you think this looks a bit rubbish.
And it can seem a bit chaotic.
And it look, I
mean, they might know what they're doing, but I certainly don't know what I'm doing there. But yeah, it does. On the surface, it gives the appearance of being a little bit chaotic.
I can't see how this is going to look any good at all.
Yeah.
And then when you see it, you're like, bloody hell, that looks like really good.
That's obviously why we're just sitting there in the background and not actually having any more of a role in it. But it is, it's quite magical.
Yeah, and you meet a lot of different people. There's
It's quite a lot of eccentrics, isn't there?
Yeah. But people from all different walks of life end up doing extra work. And
it does take all sorts, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you.
It's not for everyone.
No, it's not for everyone. I mean, for me, it is, and I'm sure for you. I mean, I think some people take it very seriously.
Yes, yeah.
It's like, I mean, maybe some people have to take it seriously because it's their livelihood.
I'm still surprised. When I hear people saying that they do it full time, I don't know how they can manage to get a full time, wage out of it. Because it's so infrequent. But
exactly. I mean, I think this guy I was talking to, and I think he may actually be semi-retired. But I mean, I think quite a lot of people are retirement age, aren't they? So they do it as a kind of.
It's almost like a hobby.
They're not reliant on it for income, are they?
No, they're just doing it for a bit of fun.
For a bit of fun and a bit of extra cash.
Yeah.
But I think this guy said, as long as he gets, I think he said around 2 or 3 jobs a month, he's kind of, he can survive on that. I'm not sure if that was a guy who was nearing retirement or he had retired. I can't remember now. But I think he said if you wanted to live doing it, live off the proceeds of doing it, you would need at least probably at minimum 3 days a month, because it is fairly well paid, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you even with all the the agencies take their cut, even with that. But if you're doing long shoots as well,
but you got to take into account the travel, because that's another thing. And then at the moment, with all the COVID tests that we have to do, which is sort of why
you step back a little bit.
And
I must admit that is kind of, at the moment anyway, at least it is a little bit of a drawback, isn't it? Where you have to go somewhere literally to have a 5-minute COVID test, and
and then the next day
the
go back again.
Yeah, go back, and it's all right if you live there or you live near it, but if you're like where we are, the other side of the country, maybe you've got to travel 100 miles just to have a COVID
we both
test.
did it, didn't we?
We both did it, yeah.
And you were luckily able to
stay closer, by.
But I had to drive there and back.
And that's a long. That's literally a day out that you.
Yeah.
It does take your whole day.
But
you get paid for it. Of course.
But it's just a bit of a pain in the neck.
Yeah, and then obviously when the pandemic wasn't on, you'd get a job and you would simply just go to the job. There'd be no test to take, obviously.
Costume fitting.
Yeah, costume fitting one day, filming the next, or somewhere
in the future.
Yeah. But the COVID test has really been a bit of a bind, isn't it? I mean, I understand why it's got to be done, and I've just read today. I don't know if you caught that, but Mission Impossible 7 has been shut down, has it? Because someone's tested positive.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
2 weeks.
Oh, God.
So that's because that's being filmed over here as well, isn't it? And Indiana Jones has just started filming, isn't it?
Oh, right.
Over here. Old Harrison was in the UK.
Oh, is he doing?
He's doing another one.
God.
Yeah. But it's quite interesting because it's not Spielberg. It's James Mangold.
All right.
You heard of him?
No.
He did Walk the Line.
Oh, right.
Ford versus Ferrari.
Right.
Don't know if you watched that. It's quite Christian Bale.
No.
Quite a good film. I'm not a petrol head, but I did enjoy it. And so weirdly, as we're talking live, check your phone. This is an exclusive.
Yeah.
I've just had an availability email. Check yours as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this is hot off the press. Have you?
Who's that from?
I don't know. I'll tell you. I can't tell you what it is, but obviously, but
tell me, but don't.
I'll tell you, but don't tell you. I'll send it telepathically to you. I shall do it in the form of a charade.
What did you? Is it a text or?
It's Becky Harrison.
Oh no! Oh.
Probably shouldn't say her name, really. It's not Becky Harrison.
We knew of Becky Harrison.
Oh yes, we do know.
Yeah, because I thought, is that?
Is it the same one? That can't be, can it? No. Yeah. That's. I reckon. I bet that's the same one you got.
Oh,
but we can't mention.
Oh, it's probably because I've.
We're like Joan to the hip. It's like you're like first choice, and then we can't do it. Get the other bloke to do it. That one he does that cult cast thing with. Oh no, it's a hand double.
Oh right.
Wow, they are beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen my?
You've had that before.
I have a woman's hands.
Yeah, because I had to take photos of your hands before.
Only my hands, I hasten to add. Well, there's something else, but that was just for my own pleasure. No. Yes. Anyway, so so with all those, would you say overall it's a positive? Would you think the positives outweigh the negatives? How would you in the time of COVID sort of thing?
You have to have. One thing you definitely need is a lot of patience, because you will be sitting around doing nothing for a very long time, whatever job you get on, because that is just the nature of it. It takes a long time for them to set things up, and so you'll inevitably be sitting in some room with a lot of other people, some that you probably wouldn't want to be sort of talking to or whatever, because they're, can't get on with everyone, can you?
Anyone? Yeah, I think you do definitely have to be sometimes diplomatic.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, a lot of people, it is very exciting for them, and it is...
Some people just...
they seem to live for it.
Yeah, and they just talk about themselves and what they've been in, and you hear the same stories over and over again.
The war stories, yeah.
So I tend to not really get involved in that.
Yeah,
take a book or
self-aggrandizing kind of. There's some. I mean, I think it probably does attract a kind of an element like that.
Yeah, but you've got a lot of wannabe actors and musicians. And
it does
attract those
creatives, I guess. Yeah, creative types.
So I guess they're sort of trying to get work.
Yeah,
it's a good way of making.
I suppose it is a good inroad, isn't it? If you're good at, unlike probably, I won't speak for you, but unlike me, I'm not very good at networking or schmoozing.
No.
But if you're good at that,
Yeah.
then it is probably advantageous to do that because you can get to know crew, and schmooze
Yeah,
and
there does
network.
seem to be quite a few people who do know
Yeah,
because I guess it's a small world, isn't it? So
yeah.
that you go from one thing to another, you'll end up seeing the same crew members who've gone on to another.
That's it, of
film.
course.
Yeah. So
I'm a bit too shy to do that.
Yeah, I don't really like doing
sometimes I'm sure, like we talked about this, buddying up. You have like on a day, if you're doing a long shoot, you might have an extra buddy.
Yeah.
And you talk, and they're quite often it's very interesting to hear.
Yeah.
I was talking to this guy who came from Seattle.
Oh, right.
And and obviously we're in the UK, so I was very interested to hear why he was here. It's you're a long way from home.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend worked with Facebook or something, worked in the company, and they'd moved here, relocated because of her job, and it's just quite interesting. And because I was hoping he'd really be into grunge music, so I was going to have a really in-depth conversation about the grunge scene in Seattle in the 90s. But I went like, "Who's your favourite grunge artist?" And he sort of went a bit quiet, and because we were similar ages, so perhaps he didn't like grunge that much. But I was very disappointed. Not just because you come from Seattle, you have to like grunge, I suppose. But anyway, that sort of fell on dead ears. But yeah, it's if like actually got nothing better to do with your life,
and you get free food.
Yeah, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, lots of cups of tea, coffee.
That's it. Just be prepared for long days.
Yeah, and the quality of the food is always
it's variable, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's a big topic of discussion amongst the extras.
I'll tell you, I remember I worked on this thing. It's like, they sound like we're talking about war stories now, but I was on this Bollywood musical, and I was really excited because I thought the food is going to be great because it had like quite a high Indian contingent of actors. I thought I'd be getting the good shit, like fucking, like proper, like homemade, authentic, and we weren't allowed to have the curry.
Oh,
and we had sort of like, I don't know, it's because they thought we wouldn't like curry. So we had like their approximation of what like a European meal was. So it was like a boiled egg and beans and that, I wasn't ungrateful, that's nice, but I kept looking at the curry, and it was like the Indian crew were one side, there was like segregation, and I wanted to get into the Indian crew and have and in the end, this Indian dude came over, and he was eating I was like, "Oh mate, that fucking curry looks nice." He's like, "Do you want a bit?" I was like, "Oh yeah, will you?" And he went and got me a plate of it.
Oh really?
Which was really nice of him. Yeah, and I was like, "Oh," and it was delicious. Yeah. Cool, it was hot, beautiful though, beautiful. Much better than me boiled egg and beans.
Yeah.
Put it that way. So he was cool. But like you say, food is variable, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's variable.
Sometimes it can be a sandwich.
Yeah, something or a bit of limp lettuce.
Yeah.
And other times it's fairly good.
Yeah.
We've had that thing we worked on.
They all do.
Was pretty nice.
Vegetarian and vegan options now. Yeah. So
I had a very nice, on the thing I can't talk about at the moment, I had a very nice vegan, it was a stroganoff, I think. A vegan stroganoff. That was nice. Nice big bit of rice, a healthy portion, and a dessert.
Yeah.
I think I had a little fruit bowl. That was nice. It was very, very good.
Generally, you get
better than what I eat at home. Probably.
Yeah. No, generally you get well looked after.
Yes, you do. You can't complain in that regard. Generally,
and most crews are really good. Obviously you're not allowed to fraternise with the talent.
Don't touch the talent. Yeah, don't look at him.
Don't look at him.
Don't look at Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
He'll shoot laser beams out of his eyes and vaporise you.
I bet he's not very happy, is he?
I bet he's well pissed off. Do you think we're going to get another rant?
Yeah, probably.
Probably want to leak out soon, won't it? I'll be having a go. I don't know if that's something that happened, isn't it? I don't. If you're not in the know, or it was on it was in the tabloid. So if you follow movies and you're interested,
that was about
COVID. Yeah,
restriction. People weren't following.
They were getting to. They weren't observing social distancing, were they? I think it was crew, wasn't it? It wasn't
Yeah.
performers. It was some crew that he took aside and gave him a bit of a dressing down to, which I had some sympathy with. Actually, I thought because I don't know if out there in the ether if anyone's heard it, but it's up there with the Christian Bale Terminator brand, isn't it? But he probably went on a little bit too long. You got the point quite early on, but I think the content of what he had to say was very right.
There's a lot at stake, isn't there?
There's a lot at stake, a lot of money,
millions and millions,
and there's people's jobs.
Yeah.
So I did have great sympathy for what he said.
Is he like a producer?
Yeah, he's going to have a producer credit on it. Yes, yeah, it's his production company, isn't it?
So that's fair enough.
Yeah, it's fair enough, and there's a lot riding on it. And if people are blatantly, not following the guidelines, that's clearly wrong, isn't it? So I certainly was on his side in that case, and it looks like now someone's come down with it. So it's proven that you have got to be careful.
Yeah.
Because that you think 2 weeks pausing on a film, on a movie of that magnitude, it's going to cost money, isn't it? A lot of money.
Well, I think we spoke about
because we can't talk about what you did. We talk about that? Did we mention the name of it? Not that we did anything on it, but can we mention it because we weren't on it? I don't know. Well, we won't mention it, but there was a big production coming out
that
we were being offered,
and they kept
availabilities as they call it.
But they kept having to
move the dates, didn't they? Because the person in it, the main star,
several people got it,
including the main star, got coronavirus, and that was put back for months, wasn't it? And that must have cost extortionate amount of money. So you can understand, really. I just hope maybe in the future you'll be able to do self-testing rather than having to go somewhere.
I did have that with one thing.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
They sent me a test.
Sent you a test kit.
And I sent it back.
Yeah. Because I absolutely understand the need, for you to be fit and well and not be spreading a potentially contagious and dangerous virus on a set. It makes total sense, doesn't it?
But it just gets a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, just hope there's a more sort of streamlined way of doing it in the future.
You had to have a phenomenal amount of tests, didn't you? You had to have...
I think I had 3 before the day of the shoot.
Yeah.
I had
one to do.
So I had 2 1 week, and then I had to go back another day and have one, and then another one on the day of the shoot.
Yeah.
So it was 4 COVID tests in total.
Yeah.
But like I say, maybe they'll streamline that later on when they know when they've got more bit of a handle on it and people have been vaccinated. I
think we've spoken about that it's probably for insurance purposes. They have to
show that they prove that they're actually taking all the precautions they can.
Obviously, they don't want to do it because it costs money to test people, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
It costs them to pay extras and whoever crew to go and get tested. So.
You paused it.
Hang on.
Oh, sorry. So, back to things that we've been watching then. So, we've covered the cinema. What about TV and streaming? What have you... sounds very... I don't know, accusational there. What have you been streaming recently?
My browsing history.
How long is your stream?
Don't cross the streams.
Don't cross the streams, that's it.
Well, I watched recently on your recommendation.
It's all my fault.
I blame you.
Yeah, I blame myself as well because I didn't watch it at the time. It was recommended to me.
Who recommended it?
Jo, my friend Jo.
Right.
So she recommended it to me, and then I re-recommended it to you, having not watched it.
So
because I didn't have an outlet for watching it.
You wanted to check, didn't you?
I wanted to check. What did I want to do?
Whether it was any good.
Yeah, but
you took my recommendation and then you watched it, didn't you?
So we shared each other's recommendation. Yeah. We batted the recommendation back to each other. I batted it to you. Joe threw it to me. I batted it to you. You batted it back to me.
Yeah.
And then I watched it.
Now you're gonna.
So did we? Then I'm gonna bat it back. Yeah. No. So did we watch it independently? We didn't watch it together.
No, I watched it on my own.
Did you watch it? Did you watch it before me?
Yes. No. halfway through, I said, "Oh yeah, it's really good."
Oh yes, that's right. You did.
you went,
so then
"Oh,
you.
yeah."
Oh yeah, I haven't watched that yet, but
Yeah,
I am.
I will watch it now.
I am planning on. But why did I do it in an Australian accent? I will watch it. It's like Paul Hogan. Yeah, I'm going to watch it, mate.
Yeah, we haven't done an accent. We were
Oh,
talking
no.
about doing because last time we did.
Bad Liam Neeson.
Yeah,
We could do
Now Paul
bad
Hogan.
Paul Hogan.
yeah. This is a knife.
Call that a knife?
This is a knife.
Maybe. Yeah, let's do the rest in Australian. No, I don't think we should. I think we might get closed down by the authorities. Cancelled by the Australian Board of Good Taste.
Yeah.
Do they probably wouldn't have a Board of Good Taste out there, do they?
What's his name? Russell Crowe might come.
They might
around.
come and butt us or throw a telephone at us.
That's another thing I saw.
Call that an accent?
Unhinged.
I didn't see that.
I did.
Was it
I
any
did.
good?
I wished I hadn't.
Oh, you did tell me.
Yeah.
So it.
It's very violent. Very
it?
violent. But
He's quite beefy in it, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's bulked out.
Yeah.
Bulked out. Not that we're. What was it?
No, we're not.
Before we get accused of being sizist or whatever.
Yeah.
But he is pretty big in it.
Yeah.
It's like big as a fucking house. But yes, I thought about seeing it.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the first films.
But you haven't got Sky.
Wait, it was on the cinema, wasn't it? I think just.
Oh.
Was it? Wasn't that one of the first films? I'm confused now. Was that last lockdown or this lockdown? It was on at the cinema for a brief amount of time. I think it was the preview. You know when they relaxed things before and we went to see stuff like Bill and Ted's and stuff? I think it was on the tail end of that and then everything locked down again. So I didn't see it, but it's on Sky now, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so is the flight attendant. And
So you
I didn't have Sky, but I got a...
You got Now TV, the trial thing, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. So the flight attendant...
And in that, Russell's, he's got road rage, isn't he? That's basically what it's
in
about.
Unhinged, yeah.
In Unhinged.
Yeah, yeah.
Got a bit of
He
road
is
rage.
unhinged, isn't
He is, well, it's well titled then.
Yeah.
Well, they just should have called it Russell Crowe. He's just playing himself, isn't he,
He
really?
has played quite a few Unhinged. Romper Stomp.
No acting required, Russell.
He's got those mad eyes. You know.
Is he a bit starey? Yeah. Has he got a nice bushy beard as well, hasn't he?
He has.
Oh, I'm shaving for fucking weeks, mate. I'm pissed off.
You think you're having a bad day now?
Look at my beard. Look at the size of me, for Christ's sake.
I've had to do this film. That's how much of a bad day.
That's how pissed off I am. Take it out on you, the viewer. You bastards. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't watch that, but let's differing, because we don't always agree, do we?
No,
you know,
it's
we
good
are
not to agree.
We are autonomous beings.
Yeah.
We're not, like Siamese twins or
Yeah, we're
anything.
not.
We can.
We've got a window winder.
We did have a window winder in our car, but we don't have to agree on everything.
No.
So on your recommendation,
But
I think I was actually talking to my friend Joe about this on the phone, and because we were talking about actually just reminding me of things we also watched that I think we're going to try and keep these to an hour, these cults, aren't we? But the cult cast. But I watched Sound of Metal. Maybe we'll talk about another time. And again, we kind of disagreed on that. And I watched Nomadland.
I haven't seen that.
Which I kind of... Well, this is what I said to Joe. I said, I think with Sound of Metal, I really hyped it in my mind that it was going to be something very special and impressive. And I think I overhyped it. So when I actually saw it, for me, even though I thought Riz Ahmed was brilliant, I think I'd overhyped it in my mind that it was going to be like this, epoch-changing masterpiece, and it was going to floor me, and I was going to be wowed. And because it was, for me, okay, it fell below my expectations.
Oh, right.
Whereas Nomadland, which I didn't really have any expectations of, and I thought, to be honest with you, looking at it, I thought that's one of those worthy, kind of slightly pretentious, nasal gazing, kind of, Oscar bait movies. My expectations were quite low, and it slightly exceeded them. So in a comparative way, I preferred Nomadland because I wasn't expecting much from it,
Right.
and it slightly, and I do emphasise slightly, exceeded that. So it was like, yeah. Whereas Sound of Metal, I had really huge expectations for.
Oh, I didn't have any.
Yeah, you see, that's probably why. And I thought Riz Ahmed, brilliant performance, knocking that. I just found it a bit meandering and it lacked a little bit of focus for me,
I sort of like that though.
Yeah.
About it.
But Nomadland also had that kind of meandering.
What got me
quality about
really
it,
was
but the sound.
sound.
I think maybe I should have seen it at the cinema.
Yeah. I think because I've heard the director talking about
the sound design.
Yeah, and they worked on that for like 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. And I think watching it on a mono telly or whatever, or even a stereo telly, probably lost a lot of that.
Yeah.
Because you probably had like the ringing and stuff like in the back speakers, and it probably, you know, the way they did the sound design made it more immersive.
Yeah.
Watching it on a little telly with the stereo speakers, which is what I watched it on.
I heard the director saying that they actually put these special implants into Riz Ahmed's.
So he couldn't hear.
Well, yeah, they could manipulate his hearing.
Oh wow. To see the scene or whatever.
All of a sudden, like without him knowing, he had this app on his phone, the director.
Oh bloody hell.
And he could control what he could hear.
Shit.
And he could, like, all of a sudden, like, make him deaf.
Right.
I don't know how they did it.
Shit, that's mad, isn't it?
But and it could manipulate what he could
He
hear.
could pick up air traffic control and stuff.
Yeah. So he could get.
You're free to land.
interference and,
A4712.
like the muffledness.
Yeah. That must have really helped with the performance.
Yeah.
And it must, you know, if you're getting frustrated because you can't hear people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, again, you know, I didn't hate Sound of Metal, but I wanted to like it more, and I was disappointed, but that I didn't like it more because I really felt like I should, or maybe I was in a funny mood. You know, sometimes the mood you're in dictates how much you enjoy a film. Sometimes, but the similar thing with The Flight Attendant, which I'd kind of also really hyped because I'd hyped it to you like, oh, this is meant to be brilliant, Mill. You got to watch this. And then for me watching it, well, tell me, give me your reactions.
Okay, so I like you said the main actress. She's from
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, I'd never watched
which
that.
I'd only
didn't
occasionally
really know.
dipped in
So
and out of.
I was quite impressed with her to start with, and it was quite a glossy production. I like the thing about her drinking. That could have been developed a bit more, could have gone a bit darker.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that it was used in a lighter way than it should have been.
Yeah, I think
handled.
I think you've hit upon what my problem with it was, that it was a little bit too
It's like, oh, she's
throwaway
drunk and
and
she's a bit of she sleeps with anyone.
yeah.
They tried to, like, as it went on, they tried to go into the
It was a bit.
struggles.
I think I found it a bit frivolous.
Yeah.
It was a little bit frivolous. I was expecting it because I'd read things about it that maybe my perception of it was going to be a darker look at alcoholism. I don't mean dark as in not as much as say.
Leaving Las Vegas.
Leaving Las Vegas
Yeah.
is actually what I was going to say. Exactly. Yeah. Not in that sense, but I just thought it did trivialise the illness a little bit, and it was used a bit throwaway as a device.
Yeah, there were quite a few, like I hadn't spotted, but
Spoilers. We better
there
do
are
spoilers here.
quite a few devices used.
Yeah, the whole thing about seeing the dead guy,
Yeah.
who was dead in the context of the show, but kept coming back to sort of haunt her.
Speaking to her.
Yeah, I found that overused.
And the bit with her dad, like there was a lot of flashbacks all the way through to explain.
why she had a drinking problem.
Yeah.
A little bit overused, I thought.
Yeah.
And I thought quite often those sequences were used to pad out the storyline.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. But
So,
at the time, I didn't. While I was watching it, I didn't think that.
Yeah.
So it'd be unfair.
I stuck with it. I watched it all.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure I would want to really watch another series. If they
No,
were
towards the end, I would say it did become like a bit of a chase.
a caper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're being chased around and
Again, like I said, that's good. It's nicely tied in actually with my criticism of For Those Who Want Me Dead. You had a hit woman in this case, but you had a hit person who, you know, at times was very ruthless and precise.
Yeah.
And then when the plot required her to be a bit incompetent, she was, and she like lost her tail or her trail. Sorry, and she lost her target, her mark.
Yeah.
Because the plot needed her not to catch up with the protagonist. So it was a bit like, that always annoys me. The internal logic is inconsistent. The inconsistencies about it started to grate a little bit.
Yeah.
And but I did like the lead actress. I thought she was very good.
It's an easy watch.
It's an easy watch.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you want something not undemanding, that's exactly it, Mill. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think I wanted something a bit more demanding.
I was looking for an easy watch, and that sort of fit the bill for me.
And I watched Mayor of Easttown, which was kind of like the polar opposite of that. So that is more dark and grim and oppressive. Takes a little while to get going. I would say the first 3 episodes, it's a slow burn, but the payoff is worth it. And unlike a lot of things that I've seen recently, the last episode, when they're trying to tie up all the plot threads, sometimes because that's what I felt about with the flight attendant. I felt the end was a little bit unsatisfactory. And in this, although there is kind of a slight twist, I guess you would say, which is a bit, these days every film and every series has to have a plot twist, doesn't it? I've kind of had a bit of enough of that. The M. Night Shyamalan kind of formula. Oh, it's going to be, there's a massive twist at the end, and you're waiting for the twist. It's not on the same scale of that with Mayor of Easttown, but it felt satisfying. It felt logical, and you weren't going like, what? Where did that? It didn't come so from left field that you were scratching your head going, where did that come from? So as a piece of drama as a whole, it was satisfying. But again, I kind of hope they don't think, oh, that was really successful. Let's do another series where we'll put her on the moon or something in this. It works perfectly as a one and done, one-off drama series. Don't need any more.
But they don't
do something new.
They don't like doing that.
They don't like doing that because if it works and it makes money and it's successful, we'll just do the same again. Which they've done many times, like Netflix. I mean, although Ozark, which I'm really looking forward to coming back. We've spoken about that before.
I didn't know that Robin Wright is directing that. Did you know that?
Really? What the new series?
Yeah,
oh, really?
I read an interview with her.
Wow, cool. Because she did some of House of Cards. Not House of Games. She directed some episodes of that, didn't she?
It was a really interesting interview.
Well, that's really cool. Because she's not in it, is she?
No.
So, but she's just, that's brilliant. Good for her.
Yeah.
She's going to direct some episodes. Wicked.
Because didn't he directed some of them, didn't he?
Yeah. And I think
he's a producer, isn't he, on that?
Who's the woman in it? It's not Linney. Laura Linney?
Yeah.
Didn't she do an episode, or am I imagining that? I can't remember. But he did.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, because I think he's an executive producer.
Yeah, no, that's consistently been good. And in some ways it's got better.
I would say absolutely, absolutely. But I do think it's a good idea that they're going to, they're going to split it in 2, aren't they? I think series, what is it? Is that 4 and 5, or is it 5 and 6? 4 and 5, isn't it? I think. They're gonna split it in 2, so it's going to be a bit longer. There's going to be more episodes, but there'll be a break in the middle, and then it's done. I like the idea that they're not just going to keep flogging it and scraping the barrel and trying to extend it beyond its natural shelf life or whatever.
Well, I think that first happened with Lost, didn't it?
Oh, that went on forever, didn't it?
That was when I think they were the first ones where you had a TV, well, maybe not the first one, but the biggest one that they didn't know when to end it, and they didn't know how to end it.
No, exactly. They didn't really have an ending, did they?
And they were like, we'll just keep doing it.
Yeah, just keep going on and
on. Everyone keeps going on about what's the end going to be? Like, it's going to be some amazing end. Yeah. And then it was a real letdown, wasn't it?
I've never. Do you know what? I think I only ever watched 2 or 3 episodes.
I tried to get into it, but I just got bored of it in the end.
Yeah, I didn't stick with it. I know it's highly regarded by a lot of people, but no, I gave up. I bailed.
Just went on and on and on, didn't it? And then,
that was another thing. I was talking of things that went on that were also highly acclaimed. I tried watching The Terror. Did you?
No.
Did you watch that? It's on iPlayer now. That it was. I think that was an HBO series originally about the missing. what era was it set in? Was it the 1700s? Like a galleon that they were going to explore, weren't they?
Is that the Ridley Scott thing?
Ridley Scott produced, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're off to explore the new world, and they get stuck in Antarctic or something, and there's some
sea monster.
marauding beast on the loose, and I just found that quite repetitive after a while. It was an intriguing setup, but it never really I didn't think it ever really took off, and in the end it became quite repetitive in the storytelling, where and too many episodes again. I think it could have been done a lot shorter, and I never got to the end of it. I'll be honest with you. I remember watching it thinking, this has got to be the last episode, and it wasn't. And I was like, do you know what? I think I've had enough now. I don't even really care how it ends. It was great production, looked handsome, well cast, good acting. It's got that Jared Harris in it, Richard Harris's son. It's all very sumptuous, and I think it's just too long. A bit like this podcast, probably. Yeah. How long are we doing?
1 hour 5 minutes.
1 hour 5 minutes. Well,
should we?
In interest of brevity, we've complained about things going on for far too long, so we'll cut ourselves short. Yeah. So
we do know when to
shut up.
Yeah,
believe it or not. All so until next time.
Goodbye. Let's hope it's not another 8 months.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, guys and girls. And let's hope next time we've seen a few more things we can talk about and discuss.
Yeah. There was one more thing you wanted to talk about, or do you want to leave that?
Oh, what did I want to talk about? I've forgotten.
You said it might be a bit crass.
Oh, that's got me intrigued now. Did I say that? When did I say that?
Well,
what was crass about it?
We'll talk about it afterwards, and then...
okay. Well, that's a cliffhanger.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, tune in next time to hear what crass things we have to say.
All right.
Goodbye. Take care. Take care, Coulters.
Yep.
Bye.
Oh.
Sorry.
They're still there. They've gone. No, they're still there.
They're still there?
I'll have to cut that off.
That's all right.